Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How's it going, guys and gals? We are back for another morning session. April 15th, 2025. If there's any charts you'd like to see, just post them in the comments there in the chat, and I'll do my best to take a look at them. But I thought today it'd be good to take a look at the overall indexes and see where we are at. We had a really big, significant drop that took place just recently, and a lot of speculation going on out there as to what's going to happen next. So I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at these indexes with you and show you what I'm seeing. Beautiful. Wow. Nice, isn't it? Mozart. A little bit of Mozart for you first thing in the morning. How's it going, guys? I'm looking personally to add to my overall portfolio. I got quite a drop. I was up around 12% for the year so far in April when the market was just cruising sideways and slowly dipping. I got into some really nice stock positions that outperformed the market. So my portfolio was looking pretty healthy. And then we got this 20% drop, which brought my portfolio down to about 5-6% now, I think, give or take, around there. Anyways, still up. You know, the market's down. Everybody's crying that they're underwater. I'm still up, which is good. But obviously, I would like to be up a lot more. So it's about preparation. It's about knowing what's going to happen next, and getting into the right position so that you can profit from that. And so, you know, we first talked about this monthly chart, and I had this area here as a very important area that I was watching, and price came down into it. And now we are seeing that bullish move out of it. This is telling me that indeed the banks are interested in buying the index here. So this is big. This is really big news, because if you trade the stock market and you want to know whether or not the markets are going to continue higher, this is a very good indication that this is likely what's going to happen, okay? The first thing I'll point out is that we have an uptrend here. This is an institutional uptrend. What's the difference between institutional and retail uptrends? Lots of things. I won't go into those details now, but this is an institutional uptrend within institutional demand, okay? You see how the two are coexisting here beautifully together? This is a good sign for me. I see this and I think to myself, let's buy. This is the time to buy, okay? Now, the drop was really quick. This is the issue that I'm having with a lot of the stocks on my watch list, is when price comes into institutional buying zones, if those zones are really wide, I don't want to just buy blindly into those zones. I'd prefer to wait for the banks to show me that they're continuing to buy off that zone, right, on lower time frames. But when price drops into a zone so quickly, what tends to happen is it rallies up very quickly. And I don't like that, because when price drops really quickly and rallies up really quickly, it doesn't produce the setups that I'm looking for on the smaller time frame. So it brings up a little bit of a dilemma. And so this is what I've been dealing with over the last few days, because this drop was great. It came into demand. It's responding to the upside just perfectly. But now how do we get into a position if you didn't just buy blindly and put your stop losses below these massive zones? Well, it takes a little bit of creativity, is what I would say. So what do I mean by that? Well, you know, let's look at the weekly chart, for instance, and look at how price dropped into this area, okay? You see how quickly it came into that area and see how quickly it came out of that area? Yeah, so it didn't produce any type of structure that is reminiscent of what the banks create when they start buying on the lower time frames. So we cannot use that. I go down to the daily chart. Here now we have something a little bit better. Now, although price dropped down really quickly, as you can see here, look at that. Price dropped down really quickly. And there is the possibility of drawing a trend line to the downside, although I would not be focusing my attention on that. What do you guys think? Would you guys be trying a trend line here? Just curious. I know a lot of traders would be drawing a trend line there, but I'm just curious, what would you guys think? Would you guys be drawing a trend line there? Uh, oh, how dare you? How dare. Yeah, I was in the zone. Sorry. Sorry. There you go. Get my face out of the way. Uh this is the S&P daily chart. Would you guys be drawing a trend line like that? What do you think? I personally wouldn't. I personally wouldn't, and there's several reasons why. Okay, so I wouldn't be focusing on that. What I am looking at though, I'm looking at demand zones that existed before the drop took place. Okay, this is a daily chart. This is demand that existed. No, not you. Yeah, this is some demand zones that existed before the drop took place, and I think it's very interesting how price action reacted like this. Okay, if you can see, we got some big wicks to the downside here, but that's just trading that doesn't make, it's not important. The trading that I'm looking at is how price opened and closed around this area here. That's what's important to me. So I see this zone holding. It pushed price up. And then if you take a look here, you'll also see right here an extended wick past this demand area here, right here. And then when we started to slow down the trading and become more relaxed and more calm, you see this candle coming down, contacting this area of demand and rallying back up. Now we're getting a couple areas of demand there. So what this is telling me is that from the reaction at the lows, the monthly area of demand, which propelled price up with significant buying, price is now starting to stabilize, and it's starting to respect areas of demand on the daily chart. So this is crucial to me. It's crucial information because that's telling me that now is the time that I can start paying attention to daily charts when looking for structures to base my risk off of. And what do I mean when I say looking for structures to base risk off of? Well, if I have a demand zone that I've located and I believe that this demand zone is an institutional buying area and I want to go long, then I need to place my stop loss somewhere if I'm going to go long this asset. So if I'm going to go long, I suspect this demand zone is going to hold. Institutional buying is going to come in, and so I'm going to buy it right there and put the stop loss below. So my entry will be above that demand zone, and my stop loss will be below, with the idea that when price comes into this area, I get triggered for the trade, and price leaves the area. Okay, and my stop loss is at a safe spot because it's below where I believe the orders are. Okay, if orders are here, from here to here, I suspect price will come in, not break this area, not break this range, and then the orders will come in and continue coming in. So this is important to know because now when I'm looking at the S&P 500 and I see it responding and reacting to daily zones, that's telling me that the volatility has calmed down to such a point where daily demand zones are now being respected. Because as you could see, back here, daily demand zones weren't respected, right? Because we were dropping through. Even here, it wasn't respected, dropping through until it contacted the monthly demand zone that was located down here. Then demand came into play, price rallied up very aggressively, and as you can see, as it was rallying it up and coming down, even over here, it wasn't respecting the daily demand zone. It wasn't until this next candle was created here that it respected, and now we're starting to see, with these two candles that have been created, we're starting to see that these candles resemble some of the other candles, smaller candles that we see on the charts preceding this price action. So this is, to me, a signal that the market is starting to stabilize again and becoming more normal, okay? Going back to how things were before the dramatic drop. So this is good to me. So on the stock market, I'm going to be looking, because I have a long watch list of stocks that I've been watching and waiting for a price to retrace to. And now I'm going to be paying attention to those daily charts. So if you'd like, why don't we take a look at the Magnificent 7 stocks and give you an idea of how I would use this information to enter into positions, okay? Okay, so let's look at Apple, for instance. All right, so we have Apple, and take a look at the monthly chart. Anything stick out to you? It should. Look at this, okay? You see where we contacted? You see how it's a monthly demand zone? Same thing with the S&P 500, okay? It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that's hitting a monthly demand zone and rallying up so aggressively. Again, the rally was probably very aggressive. Again, if you look at the weekly time frame, it's similar to the S&P. Very big, aggressive move to the upside. And now we're looking at the daily chart, and now we're looking at daily zones, okay? As you can see, we had a couple daily zones here and here that were broken through to contact the demand down here. Price rallied up, dropped right here into this area, and now is starting to see a move to the downside. So I took a shot at this one. I thought it was worth the risk. I took a trade based off of this area holding here, okay? This was a previous supply zone that I suspected could turn into demand, and that we were very possibly going to see a move to the upside begin to form here. Maybe a little bit premature. Maybe I should have waited for it to calm down a little bit more, because in pre-market we're gapping down so far. It's still early. Price could still move up, but so far in the morning we're gapping down below this area of demand. So I'd like to see this, obviously. I'd like to see it come back up into this zone and open up inside this zone. If price opens up inside this zone, then that will be greater odds that, you know, this can hold and push up. But I'm not holding my breath, because if you zoom in on this zone, you can see already that it's penetrated it. Okay, even slightly, ever so slightly, but still penetrated. So I'm going to be paying attention to this one. Like I said, I could have gotten in a little bit premature, maybe, but we'll see. Okay, if it does drop, the next area I will be interested in for potential long is this area here. Okay, if it does drop and we do get a push down to this area, I'll be looking down here to enter into a long position. Okay, been waiting for a while for this one to drop to enter into a long position. We all know Warren Buffett got out throughout here, so now you understand. Right? 390 million shares down this area, and also throughout here, the rest of 2024. Good spot to get out now that we see this big drop. Is price going to drop further? Look, you can speculate all you want, but as long as on the monthly time frame we have this demand zone holding, there's no reason to suspect that price is going to drop even further, okay? This is just my thoughts. Alrighty, so let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon, a little bit different beast. It dropped quite dramatically, and take a look, okay? We had an institutional demand area here to the left. Price dropped right through it, but look how it's coming right back into that area, okay? I suspect that, I mean, we still got another half a month until this candle closes, but I suspect that this area from here on in is going to hold, and we're going to see a push like this to the upside. This is what I suspect, okay? I'm already positioned in Amazon on a couple different accounts that I have, and I'll be looking to add to my position. I'd prefer to see this monthly candle close first, because I want to make sure that this zone is holding, and that will be a good indication to me that the zone is holding if price closes inside this zone, or even push up and then close as a green candle. That would be even better, okay? But we do have obstacles above here. This was institutional supply that was created on the way down, right? So we have a battle between buying and selling. The banks selling, the banks buying at the lows. Now, the only way I'm going to know for sure which one is more prominent is to wait and see which zone holds. If monthly demand holds and supply gets taken out, then I'm a buyer. If supply holds and monthly demand gets taken out, I'm a seller. Okay? I just wait to see what the banks are doing, and whatever it is that they show to me, then that's what I do. All right, we got Google here. Google, take a look at the monthly chart. This is good. Okay, it's contacted some demand here, and now we could see nice move to the upside. But again, like I was saying, look at the weekly chart. We have some supply here. Okay, this was used to facilitate the move to the downside. So I want to know what the banks are up to. I'm not going to assume I know what they're up to. I would love to open up a position on Google, a long position. That's my preference, is long, because we look at the higher time frames and significant demands coming into play. But I'm not going to assume that they're going to push price higher. I think the odds are that they're going to push price higher. So I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to wait to see what kind of reaction we're going to get off this area of supply. And if we break through, then I'm looking to buy Google. All right. Meta. Okay, same thing. We're coming into some demand on the weekly chart. We rallied up. We pretty much contacted that supply. I mean, fell short of it by not that much, but look at the reaction to the downside from it. Okay, so that's telling me that this supply here is coming into play. Likely. We could still get a push up and coming into this supply. I will be watching when price comes into this supply to see what happens. And again, if it breaks through it, then I'm a buyer. Okay? We'll just be patient and we'll wait for that. Buying now is gambling. Let's look at Microsoft. Look at the same thing, okay? We got the big reaction to the downside. We see the wick traveling through institutional demand. Okay, this is demand area. This is where the big banks are buying to cause price to go all the way up here. Okay, so demand, price comes in. Look at the big wick, but look at how price opened inside this zone, came down below it, and immediately reversed and is now above, turning it into a green candle. When this happens inside institutional demand, it's a very good sign that price is likely going to go higher, okay? Yes, we still got have half a month to go until this candle closes, but as long as we stay up near these highs, this is a good signal for a move higher, and I'll be watching for that. Okay, it's the same thing as the other ones. When you look at the weekly chart, we have to make sure supply zones are being taken out. And as far as I can tell, we are in supply right now. Supply is in play. So then I'm going to be watching for this here to be removed. Once this supply gets taken out, then likely see price head higher. Okay. Nvidia, boy oh boy, didn't I tell you? If you've been following us on our social media, you would have known that when price was up here, I told you price was going to drop down to the 90s, and then we're going to see buying. And this is exactly what took place. And the reason why I was able to predict this is because of the supply and demand dynamics that were taking place on the charts. Okay, here is institutional demand. Price came down, contacted that demand, and rallied up. Price is contacting the zone again and rallying up. Okay, so very bullish sign here that this is going to continue higher. Again, see, it's the same theme across all the Magnificent Seven stocks. Look at where we are right now, hitting a supply zone. So we have supply pushing down and demand pushing up. Okay. There seems to be more buying than selling, but there has to be a breakthrough that eventually takes place. I suspect that this supply will eventually break through, and once it does, then we have clear sailing from here, 122s to 139s. Okay, and then 139s will likely break, and then we'll continue higher like this. This is what I see. But I wouldn't buy blindly right now. I'd wait for that area of supply to be taken out first. Okay. Tesla, I bought at the lows here, as many of you know. Bought at the lows, it rallied up, came back down. You see how well it held this area of demand while the market was dropping? It's because I suspect big money are buying down here. And so I want to ride that wave of big money buying. And so I suspect what we're going to see is a big rally up to here. Once we get there, we'll need this area to be removed. So that will be an obstacle that I'll be watching for. And if that area gets taken out, then it's clear sailing much, much higher. Okay? So that's the Magnificent Seven stocks for you guys. Full breakdown. Hope that was helpful. And let's see, you have some stocks you want me to look at. Crude oil, Dow Jones. Dow Jones is the same. I told you it would rally up with the rally of the S&P and the Nasdaq. Here's the monthly demand area. Okay, as you can see, we got the push through it. We're coming right back up. It's possible that price drops in the next 3 weeks or 2 weeks and then holds this area. But once it holds this area, there's nothing to stop price from heading higher. There's nothing to stop the markets from going higher from what I'm seeing. Okay? That's my personal take on it. Let's see. Please shrink yourself. Yeah, apologize for that. Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? I think Bitcoin heads lower. I don't think it's ready. You know, it's pausing, maybe getting some people excited about buying again. But I believe we're heading down to the 70,000 mark here. That's what I see happening. And then from there, I think there's a very good chance that we'll see an accumulation and then likely a move to the upside from there. That's what I suspect. Remember when we were up here in the hundreds? Well, I did call the reversal at 109, which pretty much happened. It was pretty crazy using our target locator system that we teach here at the school. Um, so yeah, this shift of momentum here, breaking this descending trend line on the daily chart, it didn't really produce much. This is very weak. So it's not telling me that there's going to be a strong move to the upside, although there could be a strong move to the upside. What this chart's telling me is that it's not likely. Okay, so I think over time, we're going to see weakness, and then we're going to start to drop to get down to this area of demand here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. I've been with you since ages. Thank you. Learned a lot of things. Well, I'm glad. Do you have a group or something I could be part of? Yeah, Telegram. If you go to whiteoakfx.com and scroll down to the bottom of a page, we have links for you down here. See? Twitter or X, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and here's a Telegram channel. And then we have our LinkedIn. All right. Thoughts for rough rice futures? Maybe a potential long coming rice futures. I don't think I've ever looked at our rice futures, rough rice futures chart in my life. Yeah, it looks pretty good, you know, just from a quick look, but it looks like it could take a long time to, because this is the 12 chart, 12-month chart. And to me, this looks like significant demand is in play. It looks to me like over the next few years, we could be seeing that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. But it'd have to be a long play. It's going to take a long time. Okay. We just dropped and now we're getting a basing candle. That means we could stay down here for the next year before it actually starts to rally up. Okay. So I'd be just aware of that. It could take some time. Thoughts on natural gas? Yeah, I've been watching natural gas. Um, we contacted some supply here on the weekly chart. Okay, so this is why we're dropping right here. Dropping from the highs down here, contacting this area again. I would like to get into a long position, but I didn't want to get into a long so high up on the chart. It's too high up there. We had a long signal before. It did extremely well. I posted it for community members. From down the lows, we had target 1, target 2, target 3, and then price dropped. So it hit all 3 targets perfectly before the big reaction to the downside. So I like this area. I'll show you the area that I like. Give or take this area here. In the 280s. I think that's a pretty good area. If we can get down there, then I'll be looking at the lower time frame charts for momentum to start building back to the upside. Because right now it's all weakness. I wouldn't want to be buying it. But wait for it to get down there. And then watch for momentum to start building. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, folks. Good. I hope you enjoyed it. Good session. I liked it. Enjoyable. Thumbs up. Hit the like if you appreciate it. I appreciate all the help you can give me. If you like the video and actually even share it if you don't mind, that'd be great. Get the word out there. I want to help as many traders see the market in a different way. Hopefully, you can help them, make them a little bit more profitable. And yeah, appreciate all your support and all your help. All right, guys. Very good. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care, guys.